Warhammer 40k Rogue Trader Warrior Guide. Exemplar Warrior Archetype Guide. Let's go.
Are you ready for Warhammer 40k Rogue Trader? Because I am. The Emperor protects.
It's time to go for the Warrior Exemplar, or better to say, this would be Warrior Assassin Exemplar, Warrior Vanguard Exemplar, Warrior Arch-Militant Exemplar. Let's check out Exemplar and what Exemplar does. Exemplar is for all classes and subclasses in the game. It's like the ultimate rogue trader, and it offers the best talents and the strongest talents in the game. I'm gonna tell you now for the Exemplar what talent goes for the warrior classes, and only that. The first one would be tough as steel. The character gains an additional 12 wounds. Those wounds are further increased by toughness, increasing by plus 10 multiplied toughness bonus percentage in the same way as basic wounds. This is valid on a warrior Vanguard and no one else. The next talent would be flesh wounds for the Exemplar. At the start of the character's turn, they restore 10% of their maximum wounds. If the character has less than 20% of wounds left, they restore 20% of their maximum wounds instead. This is again only valid on Warrior Vanguard, but I would say to ignore this talent completely. The next one would be Full Attention. Targets that consider the character a priority target deal 40% less damage to the character's allies. Again, this is Vanguard Warrior talent only. Little Threat. Enemies hit by the character with a melee attack must pass a willpower resist test or make the character their priority target until the start of the character's next turn. Again, this is Vanguard talent only. Tricky Defense. As long as the character wears light armor, their dodge is increased by half of the armor bonus of that armor. This is Assassin and Arch-Militant talent. Critical Velocity. The character critical hit chance and critical damage are increased by 7% of their dodge. This is Assassin and Arch-Militant talent only. Unbreakable Will. The character gains a bonus to all resist tests equal to 5 multiplied to deflection. This is extremely good on a Vanguard. Unstoppable. The character becomes immune to all effects that reduce their movement points. They gain toughness bonus divided by 2 movement points. Good on a Vanguard. Relentless. Whenever the character is healed, they regain 5 multiplied character toughness bonus more wounds. Good on a Vanguard. Martyrdom. Whenever the character is attacked by an enemy, they gain momentum equal to the difficulty tier of the attacking creature. Valid on every single subclass of warrior. Assassin, Vanguard, Arch-Militant. Because momentum is ulti basically. The next one would be Steel Shell. The character deflection is doubled against single target attacks. Vanguard only, and a very good talent as well. Peak Condition. The character gains a bonus to their strength equal to 20% of their maximum wounds. Good on a Vanguard, good on Assassin, good on Arch-Militant Warrior. It doesn't matter who you play with, this is a good talent on everyone. Best on a Vanguard though. Revenge. Whenever the character loses wounds, their next melee attack gains plus 1 damage for every 2 wounds the character has lost, and it stacks. Absolutely valid on all warrior subclasses. Vanguard, Assassin, and Arch-Militant. Most profit is on a Vanguard though. Eager for Battle. During the first turn of combat, the character has 2 additional action points. Good on everyone, man, it's 2 additional action points. I mean, you can do a lot of stuff with all of those action points, okay? It is mega late game, and now imagine plus 2 action points on top of it all. Great talent. On everyone, one of the best talents in the game. Death Dealer. Every round after the character kills first enemy, the character immediately makes an additional single attack against the closest enemy they can target with the same weapon if possible. This attack deals 30% base damage with a 10% bonus for every difficulty tier of the first killed enemy. If the enemy was difficulty tier 1, this attack deals 40% damage in total. In other words, to make it short, good on everyone, best on the assassin. You deal more damage. Destroyer. Every character melee attack reduces the target's armor by minus strength percentage until the end of combat. This reduction is applied before damage is calculated, and it stacks. It's very important that it stacks. Valid on every single subclass for the warrior, assassin, vanguard, and the arch-militant. Grievous wounds. Enemies that have 0 deflection or 0 armor against the character attacks suffer plus 10% additional damage from the character. If an enemy has both 0 deflection and armor, those damage bonuses stack. This is very good on assassin and on the arch-militant. Vanguard won't profit as much. Pinpoint accuracy. The character ignores ballistic bonus divided by 2 of the enemy deflection, rounded down. This is only good on the arch-militant. Extermination. Any damage the character deals is increased by +1 for every attack they have made during the combat. Does not affect damage over time effects like bleeding, burning, or toxin. Good on everyone, on assassin, on vanguard, on the arch-militant, but the best one by far would be the arch-militant here for this talent. Cataclysm. All damage dealt by the character is increased by 3% until the end of the combat for every new enemy damaged by them this combat. Very good talent. Extremely good talent, valid on all 3 subclasses of warrior, assassin, vanguard, and arch-militant. The best profit here is on the arch-militant. Eager subordinate. When allies take actions on extra turns given by the character, they deal 15% more damage. Useless on all 3 subclasses of a warrior, ignore it. Attention! After an ally takes an extra turn provided by the character, the ally gains 7% armor, 7% dodge, and 3 movement points until the end of the combat, and it does not stack. Solid on all 3 subclasses for the warrior, but nothing special. Now I'm gonna start skipping some of the talents because they are for other archetypes, okay, for snipers, for mages, and so on, so I'll just pick those that can merge with warrior right now. Degraded defense is absolutely good on every single subclass for the warrior. Puncture would be great on assassin. Deadly aim is good on assassin and great on the arch-militant. Masterful precision is only valid on assassin. Crushing assault, the character first melee attack each round deals additional 2 damage for every cell between the character's current position and the spot where they were starting their turn. The distance is measured in a direct line, ignoring all terrain, with every second diagonal cell counting as 2. Good on all warrior subclasses, best on the arch-militant. Out of my way. Whenever the character pushes an enemy with a melee attack, the character gains +4 movement points. Those movement points are added after the attack and allow the character to continue movement. There is a forceful strike, okay, on a warrior, and this stacks on every single subclass for the warrior, no matter if you're assassin, vanguard, or the arch-militant, but the best is on a vanguard. Okay, this is a good talent. Combat meditation. The character gains +15 willpower as long as they have no ranged weapons equipped. Staves do not count as ranged weapons. Now, when is this good? We're gonna cover it now. When you decide to play as a Psyker warrior, okay, sanctioned Psyker, Sanctic warrior, vanguard, that's the build basically. That's when combat meditation is one of the best talents in the game. So it's literally a specific build, specific talent. Okay, I'll explain how it works later when we start merging all the classes. The next one would be malign influence. Whenever an enemy fails a willpower resist test against the character, they suffer 2 times character willpower bonus that merges with combat meditation, and again it merges with a Sanctic Sanctioned Psyker Warrior Vanguard. Okay, good talent, but it needs a specific build. Contagion. Whenever you apply blind, slow, fatigued, perplexed, or disturbed effects, one random enemy within 5 cells of the target also gains the effect for 1 round. The same happens if you inflict stun or prone, but the random target makes a resist test to avoid the effect. Good on Vanguard push, on Arch-militant kick, or basically on a Sentient Psyker Warrior. Perfection Under Fire. The character gains +5 to all characteristics. This bonus is doubled when they have 25% wounds or less. Great talent, okay, when it's rough, when you're low, and when you're about to die, you become stronger. Mega late talent though, mega late talent, but very good, it can save your life. I would say take it above level 40. Shot Through. The character attacks gain additional ballistic overpenetration. The overpenetration attacks cannot be dodged. Great on Arch Militant. Absolutely great on Arch Militant. Know It All. The character gains a +2 intelligence bonus divided by 2 percentage bonus to armor, armor penetration, dodge, dodge reduction, critical hit chance, critical damage, and parry chance. Valid only on a Psyker Warrior and no one else. Carnage. Damage from the character's overpenetration attacks does not decrease. Good on Assassin, good on the Arch Militant. Disastrous Collision. When the targets pushed by the character collide with enemies or covers, and the skills when you push enemies they collide, okay, there is a forceful strike, there is a kick and so on. Both the target and the object they collide with suffer an additional 2 times character strength bonus damage. Great on Vanguard, great on Arch Militant. And the last one would be Masterful Display. When the character's single shots deal damage to targets other than their main target, they gain +5 ballistic skill until the end of combat. Great on Arch Militant Warrior. That would be all talents for the Exemplar. I told you what works with what. Now it depends what build you wanna play, that's the talent you want to take. If you need to, write down what I said. So you write down the talent, then you write down what I said, what subclass it belongs to. You put like 1 row for the Assassin, 1 row for the Vanguard, and the 3rd row for the Arch Militant. And you put the 4th row if you decide to play with a Psyker Warrior Sanctic. And then, what I said for the talents, divide them into those rows and you're gonna see what talents to use. That's the easiest way to learn how to play this game. And now I need to grab my gaming Bible, because now we need to combine Homeworld, every Homeworld, with all Origins, and pick the right Archetypes for the Warrior, how they scale into Assassin, Vanguard, Arch Militant, into Exemplar. So the first thing that we need to do is merging everything so we create some great builds. I'll give you a lot of different builds and then you pick what build for the Warrior you want to play with. Let's begin. I hope you can follow this. It is a complex game. It may be a bit less complex than Wrath of the Righteous, but it's still a complex game, especially in a character creation. Valid classes for the Warrior are Death World, Forge World, Locomotion, and Subskin. Locomotion is for the Assassin, Subskin is for the Vanguard. Okay, we do not play with analytics unless we play a Psyker Warrior. Imperial is all around good for every single subclass, and at the last, Fortress World is great for the Arch Militant subclass. That would be the Homeworld. Now we combine the Homeworld with Origins, and then you apply everything I said in my guides for Archetypes. Astra Militarum Commander can be played with Fortress Arch Militant. Commissar can be played with Forge World, Locomotion, or Subskin both, so with both Assassin and Vanguard. And Imperial covers Commissar as well, where you can scale into every single subclass for the Warrior. Crime Lord scales with Death World, Forge World, both types, Locomotion and Subskin, but it's better with Subskin, okay, with a tankier build. Imperial and Fortress Arch Militant. The best by far would be Fortress Arch Militant for the Crime Lord. And you play by switching weapons, okay, the build I gave for the Arch Militant. Ministorum Priest valid with Death World, and that would be Vanguard Death World. Forge World for the Priest as well, and it's only valid with a subskin, or better to say with a Vanguard. And Imperial valid for all 3 subclasses, but basically the best out of the Priest that you can get is a Vanguard. Navy Officer valid with Death World, valid with Forge World, Locomotion, so you're gonna play as Assassin. Valid with Imperial, all subclasses. The best one by far would be the Assassin. Noble, I would not recommend playing as Noble as the Warrior. Noble is not a Warrior. It merges with nothing. Sanctioned Psyker at the end. Sanctioned Psyker can be played as a Biomancer, and that would be Agility Assassin build. If you go with Sanctic, then it's gonna be Strength Vanguard build. And if you go as a Diviner, then it's going to be a Arch Militant. So, I gave you builds for every single subclass of the Warrior in the game. What are the good talents, what are the good ultis, what are the good skills, what are the good abilities, what build merges with what. I gave you a charge build, I gave you a full tank taunting build, I gave you a switching weapons arch militant build, I told you what homeworld goes with what origin, and all you need to do now is merge and decide what you want to play with. What is the best option by far? Frankly, even I can't decide between Assassin, Vanguard and Arch Militant. When you play as Warrior, you basically think as a Vanguard, you taunt. When you wanna deal damage from melee and afar, then it's Arch Militant. When you want to just burst single targets, then it's the Assassin. So which one is the best? I would say it's the Vanguard, probably Death World Vanguard, or Subskin Forge World Vanguard. After that, it's Forge World Locomotion Assassin. After that, it's the Fortress World Arch Militant. As far as origins go, the most fun you will have in a game is definitely with a Psyker. Whether it's Sanctic, or better to say Sanctic Vanguard Psyker, okay? This one. Whether it's Arch Militant Diviner, or a full damage dealing Biomancer Assassin. If and only if you're way too confused and you don't want to make a mistake, the best and the sure option is the Imperial World, because it merges with everything. That's like an all-around homeworld, okay? The rest are specific for the specific builds. That would be it with the Warrior. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. I thank to all of my patrons and all of the members on my YouTube channel. As always, thank you all for your support, and I'll be seeing you on the next one. Thanks for watching.
Are you ready for Warhammer 40k trainer? Because I am. The Emperor protects.